Greetings, this is Skylar Saunders Singh. What's current? The late, great James Earl Jones, dead at 93. I spoke about it yesterday at the tail end of my show. It just popped up as an alert just as I was about to end the show. But that began an adventure for me. His death, he'll always be remembered for his, what is it? They said his voice is more than just bass. It's something basso, presso, something or other. But he had a distinctive voice. He had a very strong acting presence. There's debate whether he should have gotten the EGOT if he, Oscar for, he won the Emmy, the Grammy, and the Tony in competition, but did not win the Oscar in competition. Just like people like Barbra Streisand. We're going to get to people like Barbra Streisand in a minute. But he was a phenomenal force. He was a great life force. You didn't hear anything bad about him in the press. He was a consummate gentleman that I could understand, from being in the press and being in different films and things of that nature. So salute to him, and may he rock in power. All right, now we got to talk about how the fact that he liked these white women out here. He loved a white woman. He loved white women. And he had an answer. This is from like 1970s. I don't even know what the exact year was, but it was either late 60s or early to mid or even late 70s, where he's talking about how there's a difference between, white women and black women. And there is in a collectivized, state of understanding. He argued that black women were more militant and trying to buck the trend of the idea of the Aunt Jemima, the subservient kind of like selfless kind of ideal, and white women had an appeal that said free and floating and just happy and very easygoing and more able to understand and deal with on certain levels. I can agree with him, then I cannot agree with him. If he were still alive, and we would have a talk, because I've dated a Hispanic woman, 2 black women. And this is serious relationships, not after high school and my working career and my relationships during that. So I dated a Hispanic woman and white woman. She was Hispanic and white. A dark skinned black woman, a light skinned black woman, and a white woman. I've only laid down with one of those women. Can you tell which one? Can you say? But yeah, so it's just interesting to me that he was just so very focused on the white woman. The white woman, of course, is the key to the universe, the salt of the earth. There is no God, but God's gift to mankind. Let's not get that messed up. And it's the black woman is the earth. She is the earth. She is the goddess of over all, the realm, over men's lives. That's why black men do go with black women and other races as well. You can see, look at all the way up to the vice president. Kamala Harris has got a white man. He's Jewish, but phenotypically speaking, he's white. So I would say it's a very interesting ideal to explore, because women have so many different traits, and individual women. Let's be very clear. It comes down to an individual basis. We have to be clear. I mean, I'm just having fun saying white women, black women, and Hispanic women and yellow women and red women. I never had a yellow woman or a red woman in a romantic relationship that was serious. I never had anything like that. I can't call for that, but I know what it's like for Hispanic. She claimed her Hispanic side, so that's why I said she's Hispanic mainly, even though she was mixed with white. Both the black women, they had their own ways. The dark-skinned black woman had her own ways, and the light-skinned black woman, she had her own ways. She could cuss my ass out, real quick. and not even think of it, and then we'll make up and be like, oh, okay, you know, maybe she'd be like, maybe I shouldn't have yelled at you, you know what I mean? But I gave her barking rights because she was my ride for the most part. She I think she paid for something. And I tried to pay, and she was like, no, no, no. So I was like, okay. So it's all good. But the white woman I had, it was like it was magical. It was a really magical situation because she just enlivened me. She gave me life. She gave me a new way of looking at things because she had an entire way of living that she had. When you're treated as a white woman throughout your whole life, you get a totally different perspective than you're a black woman. The black thing. See, I'm not that guy. I'm not the. I don't mess with black women. I mess with beautiful women. I mess with people, women who have beautiful souls, beautiful characters, beautiful faces, beautiful features. That's who I mess with. If I don't care what the color of their skin is. I don't care about the colorism or racism. I care about brains and beauty and attractiveness. If she's attractive and she has all the right, functioning, organs to go with being a woman, then she's my prize. She's I'm the prize, but she's my, she's the person that can accept, the prize. I allow her to be, the recipient of my greatness. A little something there, Am I fooling myself? Of course. Am I conceited? Yes. Am I convinced? Of course. Am I confident? Without a doubt. So James Earl Jones, the late great James Earl Jones, had a Jones. You see what I did there? Okay. For the white woman, for the white flesh, for the white lady. He had a previous marriage from 1968 to 1972, only 4 years. Then he had a wife, Cecilia. Let me see, Cecilia Hart, until her death in 2016. And they were married for 34 years, and they had a child. They had a son, Flynn. So they got real serious. They obviously, were very, committed to each other. And that was his heart. That was his, I hate to say heart. That was his life. I know y'all were saying, oh, it's his heart. Your heart ain't nothing but a glorious pump and a glorified pump at that. It's used for the wrong things. You don't emote. You don't have emotions from your heart. It's the other way around. Your brain processes through your senses, and then it sends messages to your heart to pump, beat faster or something like that. Put more oxygen in the blood because you can be aroused. But you have to have some kind of connection from the brain to the heart. That's how it goes. But anyway, late great James Earl Jones had a thing for the white woman. I can't blame him because I got a thing for the white woman too. I love my black women. I love my Hispanic women. I love yellow women. I love brown and red women. They're cool. I don't have a problem. I just never been in a relationship with an Asian woman, either was it Southern Asian or South or Eastern Asian. I never had any relationships, that were serious with them. So, romantic relationships that were serious with them. So I can only talk about half Hispanics, island, but born in here. She can't be a tether because she was born in America, but she's got a lot of islands. I think she had like St. Lucia, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica. She had a lot of islands all up in her. And I was just like, that's the reason why you got all this, angst and you got all this anger up in you. You got all them islands. I'll tease her all the time for that. But she had such a great soul. I just loved her soul. She had a great laugh. Her laugh was just infectious. Her laugh was great. She had like a quiet, like a breathless, she didn't even make a sound. She just was like it looked like she wasn't even laughing, but you could tell she was. Like she didn't even. It was like almost like a mute laugh, but it was just so cute. It was really cool. I really liked how she did that. My other black woman. Oh my gosh, she really was into me. She was into me more than I was in her. To tell you the truth. And she said some things that were kind of crazy, and I'll get to that in a second. Hold on. Rick James is back. He must have been out for a little while, but he's back on the grind. He says, ladies and gentlemen, he's not the great James Earl Jones, but he's close enough. I present He-Man, who does an Olympic dive into the looking glass to see he's the great Skylar Saunders sing What Current. Close enough. Thank you, Rick James. Salute. I told you, he's a day one. If there's nobody else in the live chat, if there's nobody else representing for me as somebody that's counting as a view, there's Rick James. He tells the truth. And here's an aside. I finally watched the banana cooking show. I thought it was cool. I didn't have a problem with it. It was pretty entertaining. Did I tell you already? I think I told you last episode. I think I told you already. But yeah, but I have to reiterate. The banana cooking show with the ceramic breast, that was crazy. Or it was a ceramic breast or Paris of plaster or whatever. I don't know what it was made of. All the shows are cool, sir. No, they're not. Like, I wouldn't watch, too many. I just don't. It gets me weird because I'm like, my brain is processing like that's not a man, that's not a woman, that's a man, and I have to like remember that and say, okay, that's cool. I don't have a problem with that, but like, I'm not attracted to that, so that's not something I would like to see. But I would recommend other people see it. I wouldn't, restrict it. That's the other thing that I was talking about. I want to get to. Muhammad Atta wasn't wearing a dress, and neither was his cohorts. They weren't wearing dress. They would have been obvious. They would have been like, "What's up with the dresses?" And but my point is, why are we worried about drag queens and transgender people when we should be worried about terrorists and people that want to do harm to people in this country? That's my point. That's what I'm saying. So we have to really look at that. It's like Miss Doubtfire. Yeah, it's in a way, it's kind of like this Miss Doubtfire. Yeah, it is kind of like Miss Doubtfire. But Miss Doubtfire was on another level. He wasn't trying to be, and that's fiction. This is real life. It's not really like Miss Doubtfire. Miss Doubtfire is fiction. This is real life. So it's not really like Miss Doubtfire. But I got to get back to my original case. The black woman I had, she was light skinned. She was kind of ugly. She knew she was ugly because she said, I got a funny shaped head. But I was like, she's cool anyway. She wasn't like, she was really smart. She was super intelligent. Like, really. She has a degree from Columbia. So that just gives you an impression of how smart she was. She already had a degree from Temple University. So, but she was a committed altruist, committed collectivist, committed mystic. But she said some things to me. She was like, you're my man. I was like, okay, I'll take that. And then she was like, we went to the bookstore. She was the first girlfriend and only girlfriend so far to ever give me a gift. I've given gifts to girlfriends before, but she was the first one to give me a gift. So I was really appreciative of that. She gave me the treatise, what is it? The principle on two treatises. Two treatises of government. John Locke. She gave me that book as a gift. She was being possessive of you. Oh, I don't know. She wasn't very possessive of me. I was still controlling myself. Did she get you a Holy Bible or the Kama Sutra? She didn't give me the Holy Bible or the Kama Sutra. She gave me the treatise on two governments. I think that's what it's called. The second treatise of civil government. I think it's what it's called. Or two treatises on government. That's what the name is. Two treatises on government. And then she said, this is the craziest thing she said. I think you're going to be my last boyfriend. I was like, whoa, hold on. Now we're getting a little crazy. Maybe somebody was drinking a little bit or something. Because I was just like, no. I was like, I don't remember responding. I don't think I said anything. I was just like, okay. Knowing damn well I wouldn't be her last boyfriend. It would be a shambles. I mean, the way her anger, her feistiness, her You know, I mean, that's what James Earl Jones was talking about. He was talking about the militancy of the black woman. You know, they have to have that, you know, you have to have that guard up at all times because they don't want to revert back to that Aunt Jemima. Yes, yeah, yep. They don't want to go back to that. They don't want to have that in their, you know, repertoire. So they have to, you know, overdo and compensate for the fact that, you know, they were once, you know, seen as mammies or Jezebels or something like that. So they have to, you know, put on super guards just so they don't relapse into that. And they are often like my dark-skinned black girl. She was a mother. She was like a single mother. I don't know where the deal was with the baby daddy. I don't know if he paid the child support. I don't know if he was a good father. I don't know. But she was a great mother. She definitely represented for her child, who is now like 18, 19 years old. Crazy as hell. That just trips me up. He's like 17 or 18 years old. I just saw him when he was 3. That's how fast time moves, kids. Don't waste time. There's no such thing really as wasting time, because time is just going to be spent no matter how much, if you waste it or not. It's going to go. It doesn't care. Time moves on no matter what. Time waits for no man. That's a cliche, but it's true. And I think Mr. James Earl Jones had an understanding of that when he made those statements about white women and black women. He understood, you know, the time he stood with his wife who died of ovarian cancer, Cecilia Hart. He really did love her. He really did cherish her. Put her. See, they say, you know, you're putting the pussy on a pedestal, but he may have put the pussy on a pedestal because she was a white woman. But see, you know, it's just a different kind of way of looking at things. It's just a different way of understanding things, of getting to the real crux of the situation. And I really do believe that James Earl Jones didn't hate black women. He came from a black woman. Rick James says, in some ways, he was a genius. Yes, he was. I mean, if you're going to spread the word around, he could have been known as a genius. There's a lot of people that, you know, say, oh, he's a genius. Oh, she's a genius. There's very few like absolute, you know, knock on the door, you know, Newton, you know, Aristotle, Newton, Ayn Rand kind of lineage, kind of geniuses, pure geniuses. You know, maybe you have to modify it. Maybe you have to say pure genius / genius. I don't know. I cried a little for him. McCartney. Who's McCartney? You cried a little for him? I couldn't cry for Mr. James Earl Jones. He's a black man, lived in America, got himself 2 white women in his, at least, and one that he really cared for and loved, you know, and throughout the years. Made millions of dollars, you know, had a great career. I can't cry for that. I can't cry for him. I can't shed a tear. But what are you talking about, McCartney? I didn't cry as much as the late Hart Matthew Perry and Susan Summers, but close. Is that what you meant, McCartney, instead of Matthew Perry? Is that what you meant, Rick James? I don't know what you're talking about with McCartney. I don't know what you mean, sir. But yeah, so the light skinned chick, we just, you know, we settle things amicably. I mean, same thing with the black chick, black woman. Black McCartney is got you. Paul McCartney. Yeah, Paul McCartney. He's a musical genius. Yes, facts. Stevie Wonder, musical genius. Yes, facts. So yeah, they are geniuses. They are geniuses. Musical, maybe you have to do that modifier. They're musical geniuses. They're not like nuclear physicist geniuses. You know, they definitely have a mark on the world. Different mark, you know, different way of conveying their genius. But the late, great Mr. James Earl Jones, you know, held up the white woman, held her up, you know, championed the white woman and her struggle, her struggle. That was one thing that was part of the feminist movement. And before then, it was called a feminist movement. I don't think he was in the Death Vader suit. He was the Death Vader voice. He was the voice of Death Vader. There was a man, I think he died earlier, who was in the suit. But James Earl Jones voiced Darth Vader and only got $7,000 as the initial at the initial time of the recording. Maybe if he had said, hey George Lucas, can I get like 10% of the gross? Not even like 10% of the net, but 10% of the gross. Can I get that? But he didn't do that. I don't think he asked him for 10% of the gross. I'm pretty sure he didn't. He would probably been much wealthier. He probably had like what, $10 to $20 million, maybe, probably more, maybe more. But he wasn't hurting for anything. He definitely wasn't hurting for anything. And the reason why he had the millions of dollars because of his great work. He put in such great work that led him to, relationships with white women. Gone Too Soon. That was cute. That was cute, Rick James. So when is, you know what? I want to get to the point where we can say Gone Too Soon is 93 years old. We're not yet there. Not quite there. But we're going to get to that point, I think, in humanity. 93 is going to be like, oh my God, he was so young. 93? What? We're living to our 150s. We're living to our 160s and 70s. Let's get rid of the FDA and see what happens. Now I'm getting political. Now you got me in the political range. Damn you, Rick James. No, I'm kidding, man. But yeah, he died at 93. That means a full life. He was competent, I think, all the way out. I think he just had, maybe natural causes or, just a steady decline. And maybe he had all his faculties and he knew who his family members were. But love that white woman. Worship the white woman. If you've ever been with a white woman and you're a black man, you know what it's like. Because I was in New England. I was in New England with a white woman. And she I remember kissing outside, in the street. Just a quick kiss, And I said, that woman that walked by, she looked at us like, I didn't vote for that. I always messed with her about race. I always messed with her. We would have good conversations. We had conversations about Kubrick films. One of Kubrick films that James Earl Jones was in, Dr. Strangelove, or How I Stopped Worrying and Loved the Bomb. James Earl Jones was in that. So you have to really realize the fact that the white woman will give you better access to the world, and you in turn will learn more from her. And I taught her a lot of things. I ironically had to teach her, and I'm getting back to the feminist thing too. But I ironically had to teach her what Women's Month was. We met in March, and she didn't know when Women's History Month was. I was like, it's this month. It's March. We met on March 21st, 2012 at a Odd Future concert. So it was a beautiful relationship. Wonderful. It was fast. Like that song that Flaming Lips has, everything they say is true. Do you realize that you had the most beautiful face? And I kind of like they have any children. Yeah, they have one son, Flynn, Cecilia, and Mr. James Earl Jones. They had one son, but this was this goes back to the movement for white women. White women, it's facts. Look this up and you can look it up. But they had meetings, and it was predominantly all white women. They're like, man, we got to do something. We got to be like equal. We got to use suffrages. But nobody was looking at the black women. They were thinking about the white woman. They didn't even care about the black woman like that. He was like, make my bed warmer, get your fat black ass in the bed and make my bed warm. That was kind of what it was like. So Sojourner Truth finally said, well, ain't I a woman? She's black. She's a black woman. She's a woman, right? And so that's the kind of the what happened in the mid 60s and the 70s. And it started around the 30s and 40s, really, in 1930s and 40s. The mid 60s, 1960s and into the 70s and 80s and beyond. It was mainly about white women. And the civil rights movement was mainly about black men. So what was the black woman supposed to do? She was supposed to, she was torn. She was ambivalent. She didn't know which way to go. Should I hitch my wagon to these white women? I'm a woman. Or I'm black, so I should be with my black man. So it's very strange. It was a very weird time. But he still held on to that same principle that, black women are very militant. And, it's some truth to it. I disagree mostly because he didn't value black women. You have to value black women. I think they have value. Never get a white woman drunk. All I'm saying, hey, I can't call that one. I can't call that one. And don't fall asleep around white males who are drunk and you're drunk. Be careful with that. I was in the Marine Corps. That's another story for another day. But yeah, Mr. James Earl Jones, gone at 93. Loved the white woman. Enjoyed the white woman's company. Enjoyed her flesh. But it's not like they're not necessarily special. You can have, like, I remember hearing from Simple the Pimp, rock and power to him, the late great Simple the Pimp. He said, like, most pimps, they treasure their white girl. They usually have them as the bottom bitch and stuff like that. It's like, you don't have to. She may not be the one that gets the most money for you. She may not be the one that has the most finesse, that has the most draw. She may not be the one. Yeah, I'll miss him too, Rick James. But that's the thing. You have to value black women. Value the white woman. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it confused. Value the white woman, but definitely value black women, because they'll definitely cook for you, clean for you. Make sure you have on your right attire. Make sure your tie is straight. Make sure your hat is on straight. Make sure you go out into the world knowing that you're the protector of her and the beautiful babies that she produced for you. You bathe her. Yeah, if you want to. I've never done it, but I guess that's all right. Some people do that. But it's a beautiful moment when you have a Hispanic woman. A Hispanic woman, she'll cook for you. She'll do right by you. She'll cuss you out in Spanish. She wasn't New Yorican. I guess you can call her Delaware-rican. She was from Delaware. So I just caught from 2019. There was a red state, blue states by Colin Quinn. He had a segment where he was talking about the states, and he was like, Delaware. Oh, I'm a state. And like, yes, you are. Like, that's exactly the idea of Delaware. It's like, we're so small. We're like a child. We're like, we don't really have too much of a factor. But I mean, we do have a factor in chancery courts. But what he was saying is like how, we say we're number one. No one cares. No one cares that we're the first state. You should care, but no one else cares. So that's just a reality. But anyway, back to different women. The women I've enjoyed company with and laid down my body with. Whew, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. And like I said, only one woman I laid down with. Can you guess? The Hispanic and white woman, the dark-skinned black woman, the light-skinned black woman, or the white woman? I'll give you 3 seconds. Time's up. The white woman. I met her in March, and we parted ways in April. So in 2 months, we must have laid down at least maybe 5, 6 times, if that. The only other passing I felt this way was for Herb Villechaize. Herb Villechaize. Herb Villechaize. I'm looking up right now. David Prowse. He died in 2020. He was the actual person who wore the suit of Darth Vader. But what'd you say? I don't forgot what was it. Herb Villechaize. That sounds familiar. Oh, the plane. Yeah. Yeah, he was 50. Damn. That's some cold shit. Yeah, for what was that? What was James Bond films and Fantasy Island? Yeah, that's insane. That's crazy. He was 50 years old. I knew he sounded familiar. The late great Herb Villechaize. I had to put that on. I had to put some respect on his name. Yeah, so that just bothers me a little bit about the late great James Earl Jones, because he didn't value black women as much. He had his viewpoint of saying, they're militant and they don't want to be ascribed to that mammy or that Jezebel designation. That just kind of just upset me a little bit in a way, because it's not true. They're not all super militant. The ones I've encountered, are very sweet and loving, and will melt in your arms. Just they're just great people, great women. So I enjoyed my time with them. I have no connection to them whatsoever now. No Facebook, no Twitter, no Pinterest, no Snapchat, no TikTok, whatever the case may be. We don't have any connections anymore. So I totally am in not shocked, but just just like pleasantly surprised, that he would say it with such, he said it with such vigor and such, resounding parts of his voice, and with such gravitas, as they say, when he was answering the question. So I think that's one of the best parts about the late great James Earl Jones, because he could say anything, damn near, and he probably pissed off a lot of black women. I'm sure of it. I'm sure he pissed off black women. That's why he had roles like in a lot of white films. The black film I remember him most in is Coming to America, but he's been in various vocal roles such as Mustafa and Lion King, and of course Darth Vader and Star Wars. So that's the power behind the influence of the late Mr. James Earl Jones. We have to be aware of that. We have to be on guard for that. We have to continue to fight for that. We have to continue to battle for the expression of anyone to say, white women are superior in whatever case may be, whatever, into the bedroom, the kitchen, and the work office, wherever the case may be, and it's just so cute when white women get mad. It's the cutest thing ever. You have to experience a white woman. When black women get mad, it's like you gotta start moving around furniture. You gotta start, you gotta be prepared. You gotta be ready for it. Black women get mad. It's a different story. When white women get mad, it's the cutest thing ever. I swear. It's like, oh, look at her. She got her little red nose now. She got her red cheeks. She's flushed. Because it's not really that angry. It's like it's a different way of expressing it. It's totally different. But black women. But this is all collectivism. This is all collectivized. This is not when I say black women. What is that? Every single black woman is tear off your head and flush it down the toilet. What they're all like that. They're belligerent and warlike. Like the late great Patrice O'Neal had a bit on stage. He said, getting black women is like, it's something I know how to do. It's something I can go for because I know how to hunt. I know how to hunt for a black woman. And you have to have a stick. You have to have a stick. You got to go up to a black woman. You can't just be like, hey, how you doing? How am I doing? What you mean, how am I doing? I'm supposed to drop my drawers just because you say, how am I doing? And he's like, well, I'm sorry, excuse me. But a white woman, he said, you can get with, fruits and berries. Like, it's really simple. It's not even that hard to get a white woman. So that's just something that I've noticed in my life, and the collectivized, fun, play. We're not, calling for, Nazism, fascism, and socialism, those political expressions of collectivism, or even collectivism of the soul, individual collectivism. Is there such thing as individual collectivism? Or just collectivism on, the souls of men and women? I'm just saying it as, light, and I'm not trying to, say, oh, he said white women are only this way, or only black women are only this way. No, I'm saying it just as a sense of, understanding, and just overall the population with whatever that is, not necessarily on an individual basis. That's all I'm saying. So, it's very compelling to have known that the late great James Earl Jones was such a fanatic for the white woman. He was such a proponent of the white woman and her time and her placement in life. That's tremendous to me. I love that. I love that fact. I love that idea. I think it's true. I think it really stands, the test of time. Obviously, he was 93 years, and his second wife died, of ovarian cancer. They would have been together even longer. But yeah, I love women. I just love the company of women. I grew up with women. I had my dad had no brothers or sisters, right? And my mom had two sisters. She was the oldest of three daughters. And so she had two girls. My mom had two girls, and my aunt, she had four girls. So in that household, the only person up until the age of 6, the only people that were in the household was my grandfather. My grandfather was a great granddad, but not a great granddad, but an excellent grandfather. We were pretty cool because he gave me Hess trucks and stuff like that, and like kept me that way. And I don't know if I would have turned out different, but like he gave me guidance. My dad gave me guidance, but they're in two different worlds, by the way. But that household was predominantly women. It was my grandmother, my mom and two aunts, my two sisters, and my 4 cousins. So it was pretty much all, a female affair. So I know what it's like to grow up with women. I know how to handle them. I know what their different idiosyncrasies are. I know what their different, ways are. I know what it's like to be within the context of a woman, being within their I guess their context in their company, basically. So it's very special to me. It's very, great that such a thing happened and continue happens to me, that I would know the difference between all these women. These women are great. Women, I claim all responsibility for their greatness because they are all great. My one Hispanic and white woman, she got a master's degree. My dark-skinned black woman, she got a certificate of some kind of, I think culinary, I think it was culinary, something culinary, or like massage therapy or something like that. She got a certificate. That's true. My other girl, my light-skinned black chick, she got a degree from Columbia. Like I said, the aforementioned, Columbia degree. And my other woman, my white woman that I had, she got a degree and is now practicing, psychotherapy. So I think that's beautiful. I would take all credit. I'm taking all credit. It's all on me. Everything they did is because of me. If I wasn't there, they wouldn't have had the inkling. They wouldn't have the idea for, the reason to do something beyond their own station. So I appreciate it. And look at this. Look at the landscape. I already had this theory. I had the theory a few shows ago, or the last show, a few shows ago. I was like, black women are either divorced from a black man, never married, or have a white man or a white woman, or maybe even a black woman, something in their romantic relationship life. That's true. I've seen it too much. Oprah, she was either with Stedman or not Stedman. She's not married. Doesn't matter. They may be friends forever. BFF, whatever. Juanita Jordan, she divorced Michael Jordan. She got a shitload of money because of it. What's her name? Was it Sheila Johnson? Sheila Johnson divorced Bob Johnson of BT fame. She got a shitload of money. The former mayor of Chicago, I think she has a white woman. I think she has. Let me make sure. Lori Lightfoot. And her wife is Amy Eshelman. I'm trying to say, make sure as a white woman. Yep, white woman. I'm telling you, this shit don't quit. I'm leaving out some. I'm sure I'm leaving out a lot. But definitely look at the vice president. What she got? A white man. He's phenotypically white. I know he's Jewish, but phenotypically he's a white man. So we have to, acknowledge that. That's just reality, and that's why I understand why black women get all with the lips poked out, all sad and somber. Well, why you got to get with a white girl? Why is she got to get with a white man? It's an individual thing. It's based on reality and love and truth and values. The highest and your top value, then that's what it is. That's the reality of it all. That's what we have to strive for. That's what you want to have in life. I don't care what you have, as long as Mr. Troy Trainer said many occasions. He said, "I don't care if she has buck teeth, toe jam, a pack of hot dogs in the back of her neck, split ends, 300 pounds. If she can get money, then I'm wifing that." Like, he says that a lot. He said that on numerous occasions. That's what it's about. That's the kind of idea you have to have, because it's about the brain. It's about the mind. It's about, whatever the brain tells you, how slick and witty and thoughtful and provoking they are. That's what it's all about. It's all about the brain, and physical, features. That's just added bonus. That's just a plus. Okay, she's got a fat ass. That's great. She's got big titties. That's great. Wonderful. Great. But does she know the difference between thermodynamics and nuclear physics? Does she know the difference between quantum mechanics and the mechanic down the street? Is that there? Does that correspond with what she is? That's what we have to discuss. That's what we have to. So the late great James Earl Jones was, he was like almost completely against black women. So I have to disagree with him on that. In his life, when he was alive, he completely disregarded black women in a sense. He was only for the white woman. I'm for the white woman. I love white women. White women are the shit. Are you kidding me? But so are Hispanic women and black women, and I would imagine red and yellow women. I don't know though. I've never had, I never sampled that, as they say. Didn't technically sample the Hispanic, the black, or the dark skin or the light skin, but I have to do that. I have to do that one day. So I could be 50, 60 years old. That's what the trend is going towards. I haven't, had some good nookie since the Obama administration. So just going by trends, doesn't seem like I'll be, getting any, of the honey pot anytime soon. The honey pot. That's going to be far and away. But that's fine with me. I'm not fiending for it. I gotta get some. Oh my God. I gotta get some pussy. Oh my God. Or I should say coochie. Let's say coochie. Coochie sounds cuter. I remember that we were talking about that in 8th grade. This girl was like, coochie sounds cute, but pussy just sounds nasty. I was like, that's true. It's just the way it sounds. It's like, got the S, that S sound. No, YouTube subscriber, that is not true. Never got the pussy, but I don't look down on people that get pussy. If that's your life, is that what you want in life? Do your thing. That's how it rolls. That's your thing. But it's never in my life. I'm gonna have a virgin, an asshole and a virgin mouth for the rest of my life, and never stick my manhood in another man. That's gonna be forever. That's for my whole life. That's a definite. That's into the grave. But if you are interested in pussy, by all means, go for it. Do what you got to do. So if that's you, YouTube subscriber, that's on you. That's your business. Hey, I'm not gonna knock you if that's how you get down. That's your way. I'm not gonna knock you. So the late great James Earl Jones knocking black women, not knocking boots with black women. That'd be too much of a stretch. White women all the way. Hey, and look, I mean, because they always say that, they say once they get big and famous and rich, they go get a white woman. True, there's to an extent that's true. Alfonso Rivera, Key and Peele. There's a few more. He's mixed races, but God damn it, I can't think. He's a mixed race. He's a mixed race, but Patrick Mahomes, he's got a white woman, but he's more black than white because you're gonna get darker. He's the son. The babies are darker than her and lighter than him. So that may be true in some African American households, but that's just the truth for interracial relationships. But that's just a hold. I'm gonna try to find The exact one. How many? Samaje Perrine, Colson Whitehead, Byron Allen, DeMarcus Ware, Derrick Rose, all have white women as wives. All of them. That's a beautiful thing. And look at how many. Look at the top 3 women that came from interracial relationships: Tracy Ellis Ross and Diana Ross and her husband. I can't remember his name. Rashida Jones, her mother, and Quincy Jones. I can't remember the mother's name. I'm just going off the top now. I could look it up, but I don't have time. I mean, I have time, but whatever. And who was the third? Oh my God, I know this. I had it together, but there's 2. If not 3, there's 2. Oh, Maya Rudolph and her mother, Maya Rudolph, Tracy Ellis Ross, and Rashida Jones, all from a mixed race relationship. All have had successful careers, very powerful Black/white, interracial women, mixed women, biracial women, and they're attractive. I think they're attractive. Zadie Smith, another example, another. And look at it again. The vice president, she's red and black. Red and black. What are you gonna do? She's of mixed races and mixed heritages. Just stating facts. Just the reality of it all. All right, so I wanted to definitely get into that point of what the late great James Earl Jones was talking about. He was talking about how white women are the goddesses of all time, and he wouldn't be wrong. He's exactly right. But there's a but. Put a pin in there. Black women, red women, yellow women, brown women are just as loyal, just as rational, just as true to anybody and everybody, men, women, wherever their romantic relationship is. They're just as much loving and caring as anyone else, as any white woman. So I think that's just something that's very informative and very truthful, very rational, very realistic. To be in a romantic relationship, you have to have the idea of being, fully committed and fully understanding of the other person's total life, their entire living space. That's what the whole idea is. Not to tolerate, not to put up with, but to understand, to comprehend, to have that control over the situation. So I think what the late great James Earl Jones was getting at was that white women are, they're going to be less militant. They're going to be less, and it's not even like he was like knocking black women. I don't think he was not. He was just saying the truth. They don't want to go back in time. They don't want to go back to be the mammy or the Jezebel or something like that. And Aunt Tom, I guess you can say that, quote unquote, Aunt Tom or whatever the case may be. They don't want to go backwards. Forward. Do something. They have some of the worst slogans ever. Hope. What about that hope be changey thing? That was a white woman, But Sarah Palin. No, it's definitely something way more serious and way more, simpler than that. Way simpler than that. But I love white women. I'm with the late great James Earl Jones. I love the company of white. We used to joke all the time. We used to go back and forth on each other. Man, I'm gonna get you white girl wasted. Like we just say, random stuff like that. I used to mess with her. I used to be like, oh, with her sister. She's like, yeah, she went to the music school in New York. I was like, oh, Juilliard. She was like, no. I was like, oh. I was just doing like a riff on The Social Network, one of my favorite movies of all time, where he's like, you don't have to go study. You don't have to study. She's like, why don't I have to study? And I'm just paraphrasing, but you go to BU. Like that's some cold shit, right? He's going to Harvard. She's going to BU. That's the weird, strange way of like showing that, oh, my education is superior. Well, Harvard's not the greatest school ever because it has, the highest endowment of all schools, I think, in the world. I think it's like $26 billion or something like that. And its faculty, is maybe great, but it's very leftist. It's very mystical. I mean, they have a divinity school that's very famous. So we have to be on guard for all of that. But hey, I have some advertisements to get through. My main man Peng, he has lifestrongapparel.com. That's lifestrongapparel.com. He's got fruit infused sea moss. He's got blueberry, mango, elderberry, and other flavors. I've tried the blueberry. It's banging. It's the truth. He said he had he ate the mango out of the jar in one sitting one time. It's just that good. He also has apparel, which such as is in the name. So make sure you check out all the fitness gear. And make sure you tell him the goofy guy, Skylar Saunders, sent you. Also, check out BEEJACKSON 5478 B Jackson on YouTube. He has sardines on the grill, fried chicken, and he has near beer reviews. So definitely check him out. Tell him the goofy guy, Skylar Saunders, sent you. There's Spirit Smooth Tunes, SPIRITSMOOTHTUNES on YouTube. He has a catalog that includes, if not, has people that feature or like them: Whitney Houston, Peebo Bryson, the Gap Band, the Fatback Brand, Rolls Royce, Frankie Beverly and Mays. Just a whole catalog of different, titles and names that you'll enjoy, and songs that you'll like, and you can do so with a romantic partner, maybe a white woman. Yeah, so definitely check them out. Tell them that the goofy guy Skylar Saunders sends you. Spirit Smooth Tunes on YouTube. Also, a gamer on twitch.tv/.focus DOTFOCUS _ one underscore, not a whole underscore. So go to twitch.tv/.focus. He's got multiple weapons. He's got a sniper rifle. He doesn't seem like he's going to shoot up any schools anytime soon. So don't worry. It's not about the video games. It's about the psychology of the human being, the man behind or woman behind the tool, most likely the male. But as we saw, I think in 2023, it was a female. But he's having fun. This is for fun. This is for enjoyment. This is entertainment. So enjoy his work, his craft, and be very be aware of it. And tell him that the goofy guy, Skylar Saunders, sent you. As well, make sure that you do. If you want to an advertiser sponsor on my show, go to SKYLERSAUNDERS@gmail.com. That's SkylarSaunders@gmail.com. Also, if you would like to know what it's like to give me $100 a month, there's already one person that does it, and I can have a whole lot more. But Height is the gentleman that does it. He doesn't say he has a wrench. He can go into the anytime. He can go into the live chat, put up his company, put up whatever. He never has. All he says is keep doing my thing. and I keep doing my thing. That's all I'm doing it right now. So it's the 100 Club and maybe the 200 Club next year. We shall see. We don't know. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe I may have to ask a bit more. 200 Club. But I'd appreciate just up until now $100. He only missed July. He missed it by a few dollars, and but he's been pretty steady and regimented, and I appreciate everything he does, because he doesn't have to do it. This show came from nothing. I'll say the story over and over again. Mr. Troy Star Terrain said they want to see your face, they want to hear your voice. So I said, hell, well, let me do something. Let me try something. I tried the white shirt and the black tie. I had the baseball cap at one time. I had a black shirt with the silver and the silver hat. I've tried, in the Cowboys room. I just different iterations, just different, testing things out and experimenting. And I got one video with the most views I ever had, 6,000 plus. I've had a few videos with 1,000 or more. And it came from nothing. I could have nothing. I could be doing nothing. I could be watching TV. I could be, jacking my joystick if I felt like it. But I choose to get this money. I'm getting money right now as I speak. More people view me, I get more money. It's as simple as that. So I appreciate all my patrons, everyone that has supported me up until this point. And I will see you sometime tomorrow. I thank you very much for tuning in. Salute to the late, great James Earl Jones and his love for the white woman. Take care.